Are you a couple within about 5 years of retirement and you're curious about Social Security? Well, today I'm going to cover a variety of strategies that are going to allow you to coordinate your benefits with each other in the goal of maximizing your lifetime benefits. We're going to look at topics such as spousal benefits, survivor benefits, what happens when you're different ages, what about that elusive break-even point. I'll include some clear examples to make everything easy to understand. So stick around. Hi, I'm Scott Grissom. I was a college professor for many years, and now I teach couples how to understand and manage their finances with confidence so they can thrive in their second chapter. So before we get started at the specific strategies, let's cover some basics to make sure that we're on the same page in terms of terminology. As an individual, you may be eligible for up to 3 different kinds of Social Security benefits at various times in your life. You could have your own benefits based on your own work history. And that's the traditional way that you would think about getting benefits. However, if you're married and your spouse has benefits that are going to be more than twice yours, then you could be eligible for spousal benefits, where you can get up to 50% of your spouse's benefits regardless of your work history. And the third option are survivor benefits, so that if and when your spouse dies before you, you are eligible either to keep your own benefits or your spouse's benefits, whatever is greater. So that will potentially factor greatly into some of these strategies. Some other terms to understand is your full retirement age. Now, Social Security has some elaborate rules that sort of phased in over the last 15 years, so it can be a little more easy or difficult than it should be. But it's going to be someplace between age 66 and 67. Now, you will also want to know what is your full retirement benefits or your full retirement amount. To figure this out, strongly recommend you go to the Social Security website, log in, and download your latest Social Security statement. In there is going to be a nice graph that shows you what would your benefits be if you retired at 62 versus 70 and all those ages in between. Now, for most of us, 67 is called our full retirement age, and that's what Social Security considers to be 100% of your benefit. But if you start early at 62, you're only going to get about 30% of that benefit, and that smaller monthly paycheck is going to remain for the rest of your life. Whereas if you wait till age 70, it's going to grow beyond your full retirement amount, up by an extra 24%, and once again, that bigger paycheck will happen for the rest of your life. So that leads a lot of people to question, well, should I start at 62 or should I wait till 70 or 67? And a lot of people have this notion that I want to start right away because I want to start building up those dollars and get what I have earned at this point. But let's look at an example and see what makes the most sense depending on a variety of scenarios. So let's consider triplets named Peter, Paul, and Mary. So I'm giving away my age a little bit. They all 3 retire at age 62. They all have the exact same work history. So if they were to wait till age 67 to take their benefits, then they would each be getting $2,000 a month. But if they start early at age 62, they'll only get $1,400 a month. If they are patient and wait till age 70, they'll get $2,480 per month. Well, they all 3 retire at 62. Peter, he's eager. He says, I want to start getting that money right away. So he files for Social Security at age 62. Paul and Mary say, I don't know, that's the best idea, at least not for me. So I'm going to wait. Paul's going to wait until age 67, and Mary's going to wait even further until age 70. Well, Peter, pretty proud of himself. He's the competitive of the 3. He really thinks he's going to rack up extra benefits over his lifetime compared to his 2 siblings. So let's take a look at age 69. At this point, Peter has started collecting Social Security at age 62. So it's 4 or 5 years Peter has been collecting benefits. And what we see on this table is his accumulated total of lifetime benefits. So his first year, he gets about $20,000 per year, and then that accumulates in years 2, 3, and 4. So up through age 66, he's got $84,000 accumulated. He's well ahead of his siblings, Paul and Mary. Well, leap ahead now to age 69. So at this point now, Paul has started his benefits. Mary has not. And Peter, pretty proud of himself, he still has a pretty good lead over his two siblings. Now we leap ahead to age 75. So at age 75, Peter has about a $50,000 lead on his sister Mary, and a little bit less advantage over Paul. Well, now we can see that as years go by, Paul and Mary are going to start to catch up. Leap ahead to age 80. Now at age 78, Paul finally caught up with Peter, and they've had about the same accumulated lifetime benefits. And it's only until age 80 that Mary has now finally caught up with Peter as well. So we call this the break-even point. 78, 79, 80, 81, all in there. It varies a little bit depending on when you start. But the differences between Peter and Mary is it took till age 80 until Mary finally caught up. Well, if someone's going to expect to live beyond 80, well beyond 80, into their late 80s, 90s, then it makes a lot more sense if they can afford to wait until age 70, because they're going to accumulate many more lifetime benefits. In fact, if we looked at ages 80, 85, 90, and even 95, now that might be pushing the limit and you're thinking, no way am I going to survive to age 95. Well, we'll come back to that in a moment. But by age 95, Mary now has greatly surpassed Peter, even though he got that great head start. Mary has accumulated $200,000 more over lifetime benefits than Peter. So the concept is break-even point happens around 80, 78, 79, 80, 81, and we'll factor that into some of these strategies. Now, there are 4 considerations to think about when you decide to start Social Security. One is your age or your age differences. So especially between couples, this could be important. If you're plus or minus 2 years of each other, that's one scenario. But if you're plus or minus 5 years from each other or greater, that could alter your decision. We also want to know about longevity. How long do you expect to live? Now you're going to factor in your family history, your own health condition at the moment. Now if there's some reason that you don't expect to live much longer than 80, then that might be a rationale to start benefits early. But if otherwise you're in good health and expect to last into your 80s or beyond, then delaying as long as you can often makes sense. Other situation is your financial status. So how much savings do you have? Savings and in your retirement accounts. Do you have the luxury of living off of those savings while you wait to start Social Security? So even though if you retire now, if you can afford to wait, push off Social Security for as long as possible and live off of your savings, then that's going to be an advantage to you. But sometimes we don't have that luxury. Sometimes we don't have as much savings as we would have liked. And so we've got to start Social Security earlier to live on our benefits. The other part of the financial status is how much are we going to have to spend each year to maintain our standard of living. So we need to know what those are before we can make a truly informed choice about the starting time of Social Security. Now the 4th consideration is there a significant difference between each of your full retirement age benefits? Are you plus or minus 500 from each other, or are you plus or minus 2,000 from each other? Those also might affect the decisions that we're going to make. All right, so let's take a look at 5 strategies that couples could consider, or combinations of them, to help to maximize Social Security benefits and or make the best choices. Strategy number 1 is that you're going to both start at age 62 claiming Social Security. Well, what does this assume? It assumes that you're both retiring or stopping work at age 62. The disadvantage of this approach is that both of you are going to have reduced benefits for the rest of your life, but you've run the numbers, you've considered your life expectancy, you're aware of what money you have outside of savings or how much you have in savings, which may not be enough to live on. So you've decided, well, not ideal, but it's in our best interest to start Social Security at age 62. Strategy number 2 is called a split strategy. So here we've got Susan, who's age 62, and her benefits at age 62, let's say, is $1,500. Her husband, Mark, at age 67, now he's currently 62 as well, but if he waits till age 67, his benefits will be $2,800. So the couple could decide, let's start Susan's benefits now at age 62 when we've both retired, pull a little bit from savings, but not as much, right? Because we're getting some of our income stream from Susan. Get through for 5 years, and then up to age 67 when Mark starts claiming at $2,800, that's going to greatly help our cash flow. So at that point, we'll be able to retrieve less from savings and rely more on Social Security. So a split strategy says, which should we do first? Which should we do later? And what are the various trade-offs between those two? So are you enjoying this so far? Are you getting value? If so, please click on the like button so that other members of our DIY retirement community can also find these videos. Strategy number 3 is we want to maximize spousal benefits. So spousal benefits come into play when your spouse's benefits are at least twice of what you would normally get. So you want to be familiar with what are your full retirement age benefits, what are your spouse's, and depending on the difference, that might play a role for spousal benefits. A couple of rules you have to remember to be able to claim spousal benefits. One is that your spouse, your other person in the relationship, has to have started his or her benefits. 2 is you have to be at least 62. Now, just like regular benefits though, the longer you wait from age 62 up through 67, your spousal benefits will continue to increase. Unlike regular benefits, beyond 67, your benefits won't increase anymore, your spousal benefits. So you can see from this chart that at age 67, you've maxed out at 50% of your partner's benefits. We'll say husband Mark again is expected to get $3,000 once he retires or claims at 67. And his wife, Jenna, doesn't have a long work history, so her personal benefits might only be $500. So if she waits till age 67 to claim at the same time that Mark does, Mark's $3,000 per month, her spousal benefits, because she waited until 67 when she maxed out at 50% of his, is $1,500 per month. $3,000 for him, for his own personal benefits, $1,500 for her as spousal benefits. So that would be a great strategy when there is this wide difference between your full retirement age benefits and spouse with the lower benefits should probably try to wait until age 67. Strategy number 4 is to maximize survivor benefits. So recall survivor benefits are when one of the two members of the couple die, the survivor, the widow or widower, will either get their own benefits or their spouse's benefits, depending on which is greater. So let's consider Karen is 63, and her benefits at age 63 are going to be $1,500. Her husband, Jim, if he waits until 67, might be about $2,200. But if he waits till age 70, maybe those benefits are $2,800. Now these numbers are just fictional off the top of my head, but I think they serve the point of demonstrating the concept. Now, if he can wait till age 70, $2,800, he's going to have that bigger benefit for the rest of his life. Now we go back to that break-even point analysis earlier. Maybe the husband says, I'm probably not going to live beyond 80 for a variety of reasons. I'm a little pessimistic about that. So that normally might make him start at 62, is what we discovered. But he's no longer thinking as an individual, he's thinking as a couple. And to know that his increased benefit by waiting to age 70 is not just payback on his lifetime, but it's payback on both of their lifetimes. Key notion here about survivor benefits. So even if he were to die at age 78, hopefully not, but if he did, we don't worry about that break-even analysis anymore because we're more interested in the wife's longevity. And if she's going to live into her late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s, then that would have really helped her a lot. The fact that they delayed early on and increased his benefits as much as possible has a great lifetime benefit for her. And in fact, a good rule of thumb, when you have the availability to do so, the flexibility to do so, married couples should always have the person with the highest benefit wait as long as possible, at least age 67, if not more, anticipating that that's going to be used for both of their lifetimes, and strong advantage for that. And then strategy number 5, what if there's an age difference? Now in this particular case, we're going to say Mark is age 62 and his wife Anna older than he is at age 67. So there's a 5-year age difference. Now Mark has a bigger FRA benefit. So if he waits till age 67, we'll say he's going to get about $3,800. Anna had a work history, but her benefits starting at age 67, which is where she is right now, by the way, is about $1,200. So even though Mark is 62 and maybe he is retired, but he's not going to start Social Security yet, Anna is 67, she can start hers now, her own personal benefits of $1,200. And then over the next 5 years, until Mark becomes 67, they are accumulating her personal benefits. But when he does start benefits at age 67, and she is now, 72, now that he has started, she is eligible for spousal benefits. And if you do the math, you figure out $3,800 for him and $1,200 for her, spousal benefits will be an improvement. But for those first 5 years, due to this age difference, she is gathering her own benefits and accumulating some advantage to that. Remember, there's no reason to wait beyond age 67 for her if we're really banking on spousal benefits. So your age differences could be different, your scenarios could be different, but these 5 strategies may help you think through different options for you to consider. As an advice-only planner, I don't charge for assets under management, I don't manage your investments, and I don't ask you to move your investments to a different company. That's just too much of a commitment. But what I do for a flat fee is give you an informed second opinion that allows you to make choices on your own. We work together to create a custom retirement plan so that both of you can perform specific actions and understand and manage your own money rather than rely on the higher cost of working with a traditional advisor. Oh, and one more thing. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe and click that bell so that you'll learn more about future videos that help you retire smarter. Until then.